You are about to witness history in the making.
Hi everyone, welcome to episode 45 of the Pop Culture Gamers podcast. My name's Hayden and I'm here as always with Steve. How are you doing, Steve?
Marvellous, thank you very much.
How did I know you were going to come out with that? He's trying to take my dad joke puns off me now.
Oh, I'd get it in there somehow, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. So, do you want to tell us what you've been doing, Steve?
So, yeah, first of all, I've been having some trouble, if you remember, with the router a little while back.
Mm-hmm.
And Sky, BT came back and fixed the line and that. But I was still thinking I was getting some issues. I'm not sure if it was a Sky app or what. Anyway, I had a whinge at Sky and they sent over one of the VIP engineers round.
Right.
If they have such a thing. I couldn't make it there at the time, so I said to Mrs. Well, if he needs to speak to me, get him to give me a ring on the phone and I'll chat. So I'll be on my way home from Crawley, as I've got it's been a bit of a long week and working quite away from home. So anyway, so he was looking in. He wanted to go on the router, so I gave the missus a password to put in for him, sort of thing, and he could bounce around that. I explained I had all the ports open for Xbox and everything else. And he said, yeah, it's looking good. He said that obviously sometimes the app at Sky doesn't work really well. So we always talking about the positioning of it, and at the moment I've got the one that's a bit very bit warm and maybe a bit too warm, and he sort of agreed with me. And he was saying, well, he said the one we got at the minute, it's got no air holes in it, no ventilation. Anyway, so he left me the newest router, which I've got boxed up in here at the minute if I need to use it. And he's given me his number, so when the new one comes out in a couple of weeks, we might be able to sort something out.
Oh, cool.
So that was nice. Really helpful guy. It makes a change to get some decent service because you know what it's like sometimes with different technicians we get to talk to. I think what it was is because he knew the way I was talking to him, he knew what I was talking about. So he was, he weren't going to pull no wool under my eyes, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
So that was pretty cool. The missus finally picked me up some Marmite peanut butter.
That sounds disgusting.
It doesn't. That's the thing. Because even she said, it's not because she likes peanut butter, she likes Marmite, but she was sort of hesitant about it. But when you sort of taste it, you get that peanut butter vibe, and then at the end you get a hint of Marmite. So I've got a jar. I will make my own as well once that jar's finished. I'll try and see if I can replicate it in a cheaper fashion.
Mm.
Which is a little bit expensive. And yeah. Also, when Record Store Day was here, which have been, we've sort of missed a week or two, haven't we? So I'm a bit confused where we are with dates.
Yeah.
So when Record Store Day turned up, I'd heard rumours that there was a Star Trek album coming out. I never saw it. We never got a hint of it. And then I was chatting to the Star Trek Destination guys on Facebook. And the soundtrack for the 2009 movie, which is obviously start of the Kelvin timeline, it came out in the States. And then talking to some other guys over here, there was about 300 copies in the UK only. So sounds a bit short for UK, but I did pick one up on eBay, got it sent from Canada. That was really quick. I was surprised how quick that came over. Very well packaged and sounds brilliantly. Really, really chuffed about that. And on the flip side of that, I've been waiting for Friday the 13th to come back out by Waxworks. And they've been teasing that for the last month. And ironically, it came out Friday, 5:00 on the dot. So I was able to bag a copy, and within 5 hours, I got an email back saying it's been shipped, which is the quickest I've ever seen the turnaround come around, to be honest. And yeah, well chuffed for that.
Cool.
So those one's here, one's on its way. And obviously, this weekend has been all about Marvel. So when we get to that, we can talk all things Marvel. That's all I'm going to say for now.
I do have to admit, I do find it quite amusing in the fact that out of the two of us, I've probably demonstrated being a bigger Marvel fan over the years, but you're the one who's got rushed out to watch Endgame, and you've been watching all of the others.
Yeah, I literally have the odd one or two that I hadn't seen, I've had to get to watch. And because I thought with the internet the way it is, I mean, I think it's not been bad for spoilers. I think I've not seen a sniff, but there has been a few bits and pieces out there. And I think most of the guys that we know, everyone else on Twitter, that have been sort of kind on that fact and Facebook. But I mean, did you see the story about some guy in China? I think it was China. Started rabbiting on about the spoilers as he walked out of the screening, and all the people there waiting to queue in went and beat him up. It just reminds me of Homer coming out of Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. In that scenario. But yeah, we'll have a chat about that and what we've been watching. We'll leave that for later.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I haven't got much more to say at the moment. So how was Birmingham?
Well, I went to Insomnia 64, at Birmingham, the NEC, on Easter Sunday, actually. There was absolutely loads on show. It was in 3 halls. One was a gaming arena, one was like for exhibitions, the on stage stuff, and then the other one was like the main sort of drag, as it were. But like I said, loads and loads of things on show. Big cosplay element to there, including people who were making the costumes, giving you advice, all of that sort of thing on how to do it. Not that I was interested in that at all. But my wife, son, and my wife's friend's daughter, who we took, they all watched the show, and I carried on wandering around the show.
So you dragged your missus round then, yeah?
She was quite happy to go.
Find a coffee shop somewhere. She was well away, wasn't she?
Well, there was regular stops for coffee, yeah. Which costs a fortune at the NEC.
Oh, I bet. It wasn't cheap, wasn't it?
No, definitely not. Nintendo were there in a big way. They were doing some tournaments as well. And watched them do Tetris 99, which is evidently free on the Switch if you've subscribed to the online service. And my God, those guys could play Tetris. I mean, blisteringly fast.
Their reaction time was a little bit fine, was it?
Very fine indeed. One or two people who got up on stage and did it, they were a bit, I could easily take them, but one of them came, second or third when we were watching it, and my God, they were moving like lightning on that. Really, really good. So it was definitely worth it. A watch was that. It's not really much of a show for new releases. However, there was the New Days Gone was there because it was a couple of days before that was actually released. There was loads of PC stuff. Alienware were there. We had Razer, Fnatic, and a load more as well. There was a good selection of VR games, particularly on the PSVR. You could get onto Everybody's Golf VR, Five Nights at Freddy's, and a few more that were there as well. Game was selling stuff, as they normally seem to be. It's either Game or Argos that attends those things. But the tournament was done through Belong, which is the things that a lot of game stores actually have at the back, which is, like a PC setup for head-to-head playing. And they can do parties and that sort of stuff. Well, they were using that part of the franchise to do the tournament there as well. There was a few famous YouTubers there on the day that we were there, was Syndicate and Pyrocynical. Not that I'm really big followers or know who they are that much, to be honest. But there were others as well. There was a indie developer zone with a few interesting games there. A lot of them looked a little bit too basic, and you kind of think, why are you releasing a game like this in this day and age? But presumably there must be the market there for people, buying some of those games as well. But there was a few interesting games. I did have a go on a Wipeout style game called Pacer, which is coming to the PC, Xbox and PlayStation this summer. And I'm not kidding you, it really was more or less exactly like Wipeout. You know, the same sort of tracks, the, you know, hover ships that you use, you know, you've got weapons, you've got the boosts, all of that sort of thing. It graphically looked very similar to Wipeout, which is nothing the matter with that because obviously we are not getting any more Wipeout, but I really enjoyed having a test of that one. Mortal Kombat was there as well, Mortal Kombat 11, as was Anthem.
Mm-hmm. Did you get to see that at all?
What? Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
No, I didn't go in because fighting games are not my thing.
Okay.
I'm not that bothered about them. There was a large selection of retro arcades and consoles, which there always is there. So you could, you know, use stand-up machines, or there was the individual machine, you know, consoles there, like Dreamcast, you know, well, just about everything, PlayStation 1s, PlayStation 2s, original Xbox, you name it, you know, Mega Drives, you name it was there. So there was absolutely loads. And then there was also an area for analog gaming as well. So if you were into your card games or whatever, then you could have a go on that as well. And people were there to help, you know, guide you through stuff if you weren't sure and that sort of thing. And then there was loads of things things to buy. Yes.
Did you purchase much?
I purchased a couple of things. There's an artist who goes to all of these things, and I've purchased a couple of his pictures before now. I've got one of the Lando Millennium Falcon, but I've also got now one of the 3 Enterprises on a print, and it was reduced. It was like a $5 sort of thing. But I also got my son a baby Groot drawing as well, which was fantastic.
Yeah. Was it just a pot with a stick, or was it a bit more than that? It
was a bit more than that. It was like the one on Guardians 2, as opposed to the End of Guardians one. And then what else did I get? Oh, I got an aim controller. So this is like an alternative to a SCUF controller.
Right.
It's got a custom shell. It's customized inside as well, so it's got remapping ability. It's got paddles underneath, and also rather than have analog sticks on the triggers for helping you out better on first-person shooters, it's actually they've gone on to smart triggers instead, which is basically less distance to travel for shooting.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very basically the same as an Xbox Elite controller then.
Yes, and also you can swap out the sticks as well. But it's got a nice Batman and Superman cover to the shell. I posted a picture on the Facebook group and on Twitter. But it's also got that sort of like paint splash back, like the SCUF gaming ones have, if you've seen those. So it's got that sort of like, you know, splattered water mat, but it's in black and bright blue. So it looks really nice. It's got like a comic strip top, and then the back is that. Feels really comfortable. It feels heavier than your standard controller as well, because they've obviously done stuff to it. But very nice controller. And evidently the one I've got, so it's only been made in a batch of 4, so there's only another 3 like it somewhere else.
Okay, so a little bit of a exclusive then.
Yeah, very nice controller. Plays well. Been playing Days Gone with that.
Yeah.
So that was it, really.
Did you know you've mentioned Everybody's Golf?
Yeah.
Obviously, you didn't get to have a look at that.
I could see people playing it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I thought this was just going to be an update for the one we've got at the minute, but apparently it's going to be another game to pay for.
Yeah, standalone game, a bit like the way that they did Doom VR and Doom, which I don't like, to be honest, because when it first started off, you got the VR game with the full game so that you could use it either. Now you're kind of limited to, if you buy the VR, you have to play it in VR, and I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I do have the original, the one that came out, I don't know, about a year ago now, might be, feels like, which is really great. But it would be nice if they could have tagged it onto that as a freebie. But okay, you can't have everything.
But even if they didn't tag it on, maybe if they turned around and said, for DLC is the VR, which will cost you a tenner extra.
Yeah,
that would have been reasonable.
Mm.
But I think having to buy the whole new game full priced again is just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that price falls, I think, when that comes out.
Mm.
But, interesting, that.
It's definitely worth going to. Oh, there was also a load of sort of like designer stuff for Insomnia, T-shirts and that sort of stuff with bearing the logos.
Yeah, did you get to chat with the guys over at the, to do with the
Game Blast?
Yes.
Yeah, special effects. Yeah, I went over and talked to them and saw how they were going. Had a bit more of a look at the Xbox accessibility controller, and it's not quite the way that I thought it was. Because those two big pads? I thought it was sort of like the Steam controller, sort of touch-sensitive pads like you get on the front of a laptop. They're not. They're just two buttons.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And everything else is what on there is obviously mappable to how the person wants to use it.
Yeah, but the main thing about that controller is if you look at the back of the controller, there's loads of sockets. And there are loads of different, and I think they're quite generic, sort of buttons and sticks that you can buy.
Yeah. That
will fit whatever it is that you need them to do. So, if you've already got like a joystick that plugs into this specific type of port, which by the look of it looks a bit like a 3.5-inch headphone jack, it should work on that controller.
Oh, okay.
If you've got a joystick that uses that sort of interface. So, but my son had another go on the accessibility controller, who was doing quite well with that. They seem to be really quite hard wearing as well in terms of, can take some pounding. But yeah, it was really nice to see, and there was, a few people from there, so I just had a chat with them and said, oh yeah, well, and I found out, about some of the work that they've been doing, but really interesting. So I'll probably end up supporting that charity next year when they do Game Blast as well, to be honest, I think, because it's been a good experience.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so lots on offer to see. Definitely worth it. Probably will be going to the August one. Because there seems to be 2 a year now.
Oh, okay. Keep you busy, won't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that EGX, now it's gone to London.
That's a bit far, isn't it?
Well, it's not that much further for me. And in matter of fact, by train, it's actually quicker.
Yeah, because I think it's in the Docklands, isn't it? That's where they held it. So, and that's not even the nicest of places to drive to. I can tell you that for nothing, No, but not only that, but just going to London is much more of a hassle than going to Birmingham, and it's more expensive. And because I was looking at, at this, and it was going to cost me like 150 quid. That's ridiculous, isn't it?
And I thought, I'm not paying that to go there when I can pay 20 quid to get to, the NEC. So as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a stupid move going back to London.
Well, it could be down to the availability as well. Who knows?
I think it was because a lot of people complained that it had moved from London.
Yeah, because it was held, the first time I went, it was held at the Earl's Court, which is now not there anymore because it's now housing development and they knocked it down. So the only other place to have it would be that arena, obviously at Docklands End, but
Yeah, I think I went there when they had it there once before. That was a long time ago, though.
It's a big floor space they got there. They did have, shall I say. But, yeah, it was, God, the first one I went there was some time ago now.
The first one I went to was Star Trek Online hadn't been released because they were showing it there.
So I remember I had a quick chat with Respawn.
Yeah.
This is when Titanfall was about to be dropped.
And didn't you meet Dan Mayer there as well?
Yes. Oh no, there was another event where I met AC Bongos and the crew. That was held in Birmingham, actually, funnily enough. That was sort of linked via game. But I think down there I met him, and yeah, that's right, because you can find me on YouTube playing that 2D platformer now. Can't think what it's called off the top of my head, but yeah, I had Glyn with me as well, and we went to, that was the Earls Court one. My boy came as well, and we went to one of the stage events there, and they were playing it on stage, and I went up there and played it, and got myself on YouTube. Didn't do too great. My boy was better than me, though, I must admit. But, yeah, very good.
Yeah. So that's, other than that, not really an awful lot's happened. I've been buying up a few movies recently.
Well, gaming...
it's quieter at the moment.
There is the games that are coming out, but as I said to you just before we started this, I feel it's getting very pricey, and people are getting very disappointed, especially when you're paying out for all these price of games. It's ridiculous. So where you've got things like Game Pass where you can pick up stuff that you might not have got to play at a cheaper rate, we'll see. Might be the best way to play games at this, mate.
Yeah. Anyway, shall we move on?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll go on to gaming this week.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
Okay, so gaming this week. So, Steve, do you have any news for us?
I can't think of any right now. Been a bit busy, but I'm sure that we might have missed something if we had done. Games for Gold is imminently coming out. There's been a few leaks, but we're not going to say what they are because they may well be wrong. Yeah,
there's also been the same for PlayStation Plus as well.
Yeah. That just reminds me now. Okay, yeah, crack on. I was just something else I want to mention about when we're playing games. I forgot to mention that. I'll type that in while you're talking.
All right, so in that case then, new releases this week. We have a few games. We've got Fade to Silence on the PS4 and Xbox One, Final Fantasy 12 on the Zodiac Age on the Xbox One and Switch, Sorrento VR on a PSVR. We've got Steve Universe Saves the Light and OKKO Let's Play Heroes on a PS4, Xbox One and Switch. We have The Legend of Heroes, Trails of the Cold Steel 2 on a PS4 and Wasteland 2 Director's Cut on the Switch. Do you want to do the chart, Steve?
Yes, I certainly will. Okay, so at 5, we've got a certain game that I haven't played in a while. That's Red Redemption 2. Staying up 4, we've got Mario Kart Deluxe. From 1 down to 3, we've got Tom Clancy's The Division 2. Staying at 2, we got FIFA 19, and in at number 1, not surprised really, it's World War Z.
Yeah, I quite fancy playing that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple of games out this week, isn't it, that are very similar types.
Yeah.
That being one of them.
Indeed. Anyway, Steve, you've been playing non-Destiny games.
I know. It's ironic, really, because...
Sorry, I'm just looking to see if there's a blue moon.
So, well, let's talk about Destiny last. So, linked to the news or not, if you're not aware that there's been some more Xbox One Enhanced games that have been released. For
yes, there has.
So, Splinter Cell Conviction, Fable 2 and 3 are 3 of the games. And I've started that Splinter Cell Conviction, and wow, that looks good. Very impressed graphically. And just starting the tutorial again, getting back into marking the enemies. It's great. If you've not played it, I totally recommend you getting this. I'm sure it's probably pretty cheap. I already own this anyway.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool for me to get that. Fable 2 and 3 have had Xbox updates as well. I've not really looked at them yet.
I take it these are 4K updates.
Yeah, they're the enhanced, in brackets.
Yeah.
That they've been given, which are just free updates. Obviously, Fable 2 and 3 are on Game Pass, so you can check them out. Splinter Cell Conviction, I think that might have been a Games for Gold at one point, if memory serves. So if you clicked on that, have a look back in your back catalogue, see if you can find it. Well worth a look. So let's get one of these out of the way. Monster Hunter. I downloaded that off Game Pass, did the tutorial, and I just weren't feeling it with this game.
Now, this was one of the games that was touted to be a Destiny killer.
Yeah. Well, it certainly wasn't a Destiny killer for me. It's more like a deleted game pretty quickly. I know I didn't get to try it with yourself or anyone else, but I just don't know. I just had mixed feelings about this game. I think you were very similar when you actually purchased it, didn't you?
I think it's one of those games that'll be better playing it with someone rather than on your own. That's my general feeling about it. I mean, I think that there's no end of monsters for you to actually go at, and some of the mechanics of trailing them and baiting them and whatever are quite clever.
Yeah.
But some of these open world games, just when you're playing on your own, are a little bit too solitary.
No, I mean, Destiny 2 is pretty much one is a given and how that one works, and it works very well. But where Monster Hunter is concerned, well, I just weren't feeling it. I really wanted to give something else a try. Mm-hmm. And just didn't work for me, really. I did. There is a new snooker game out at the minute, isn't there? Obviously, we got in the sports world at the moment, we got the championships on at the minute, and there was a game that's come out that's sort of linked with the snooker players and everything else. But I've heard it's a bit lackluster, so I just dug out the old one that came out on Xbox some time ago. I had a little play with that. Yeah, that works pretty well. And even though I think I got that via one of the in developments, should we say? So it works okay. That gives you a little bit of a snooker fix while the tournament's on at the minute. Also, with Formula 1 in full swing, I decided to give 2018 a go because I think I played about a year ago for the last one. Not much difference there, but I did enjoy just getting my character made up and went in with the first event, which is Australian Grand Prix. Mm-hmm. It's a track I pretty know I really know that one pretty well, to be honest. And I know which corners I can take full swing on that. Had a bit of fun. That was great. I love Formula 1 racing, and that really works well. The game looks as if you're sometimes watching Formula 1. So anyone that's got a passion for that, I'm sure they'll all have a go with that one. Mortal Kombat 11 is out now, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And I'm not feeling for the prices at the moment on that. So I thought I'd just dig out Mortal Kombat XL, which I purchased some time ago. And I think quite a while back, even Christmas time, it was very cheap. Mm-hmm. And with my Friday the 13th vibes at the minute with my vinyl, which is en route, I thought I'd play as Jason Voorhees and had a blast, really. I know you're not really a fighting fan, are you? And I can get a little fix out of that game, to be honest. I love them. And the characters there, I mean, they all work really well. Even with Injustice 2 on the DC side. That's another great combat game for fighting games. I quite like them. I can get an hour or two fix out of them. That does me well, to be honest. And the last one, a quick talk about Destiny 2. Mm-hmm. Now, the event, it's running, I think, maybe for another week, called Revelry. Yeah. And I've got all the armour. I've got the exotic as well. I did that. And also I got my first seal in Destiny. Right. Which is the Gambit one called Dredgen. So if you're aware, when you're running around online, you see people with these little purple names above their heads. Yeah. That's the seals they've got. And ironically, I was the triumph I was going for at the time to try and complete the seal was where you have to kill four. You have to kill the four on the opposite team in Gambit. Mm-hmm. So the four real players. Yeah. And you have to do it 3 times. So I did that pretty well because if you play the new Gambit mode, there's a point in the game when they're going to kill the boss and they're all standing in one place at once. So going down there with a rocket launcher, you can pick them out pretty easily. Yeah. And that left me one triumph to do, and it was a secret one until I got it come up. But what it was is you have to be a runner and help someone get 100 motes. And I thought, there's no way on earth I'm going to be getting this one. I looked into Reddit, how people were trying to do it, and they were finding it difficult. So I was just playing Gambit, and it just popped up out of nowhere. Wasn't even going for it.
Is that in one game? 100 motes?
Yeah, and you have to sort of guard a guardian or something, and it just popped in, and I couldn't believe it. I thought, whoa, because I really wanted. There's about 7 seals you can go for. So there's one for Gambit, there's one for the Crucible, there's one for I can't think of the call off the top of my head, but there's all these different ones they got there anyway. Yeah. But yeah, no, that was pretty cool. I thought that was something of an accomplishment because also it gave me my first achievement in Destiny for God knows how long. So, yeah, I was well chuffed. So, yeah, that's about it. And I have got another game to play, but I've got no one to play it with yet. But I'm sure you're going to mention it in a minute.
Yes, because I've completed that game.
Yes, you have.
Yes. So
no spoilers, okay?
As if I would.
Yes.
So the game that I've been playing is A Way Out. So this was part of the recent Easter sale for Xbox, and this is available on PC and Xbox as well. It's a two-player game, two-player cooperative. You have to. The only way to play it is really with somebody, either couch co-op or over whichever service it is, whether you're Xbox Live or PlayStation. I don't think you can do cross-play on it. But I had a game with Nikki Wilson, one of our listeners, and yeah, it was really, really enjoyable, actually. It was a really good story. We did it over 3 days. We could have probably done it over 2, but we just stretched it out a little bit. Did it over 3 days, and basically it's about escaping from prison. So you're a pair of, convicts. You don't know each other. You you meet each other by events that happen in the prison. You then decide that you're going to work with each other to try and escape, and everything relies on you working with the other person to do that. So, for example, there's one bit where you're trying to break your toilet off the wall so that you can get through the hole that's behind the toilet. And as you're chipping away, the other person has to do the lookout. And there's guards walking up and down. And then when you've done that, you've got to swap around and, you've got to guard while the other person does the same thing. And then you escape into this back. If it was on Star Trek, it'd be like a Jeffries tube, but, this little, back corridor behind the prison wall, or the cell wall, and then work together to, stop a fan from rotating, and then, so you can both get through. One of you's got to put a bar in and hold it while the other one goes through. When they go through, they've got to switch the fan off at the other side so that the other one of you can get through. There is an absolutely hilarious bit where you have to go up a shaft back to back.
Right. And
it relies on you being coordinated with your efforts.
Just like an episode of Prison Break.
Yeah, sort of thing. And, so you walk up the walls like Spider-Man, but back to back, so that they're pushing against each other, but, literally walking up 90 degrees. And I have to admit, the amount of times that Nikki and I fell on that was quite amusing. I have to admit, sometimes it was really quite deliberate. Just as a bit of a wind up, getting up nearly to the top and you go, oh dear, we've all fallen. And then there was another couple of times where they do the Uncharted sort of you're jumping in the air and you have to catch on to the other person sort of thing. And a couple of times Nicky was in that sort of situation. I thought, I just want to see what happens when he crashes. So you saw this massive cinematic, you're very all, he's going to be, oh no, he missed.
I can hear him whining in the background already.
I was. And it was calling me horrible person and stuff like that. It was really quite funny, to be quite honest. Really enjoyed it. So, yeah, fantastic, fun game. Really, really great story. Really great story. It's definitely one to play. I would love to play it again, so we'll have to play it.
Yeah.
But trying to prize you off Destiny is sometimes difficult.
Well, I've done all the revelry stuff at the moment. We've got another update coming in soon for the next season, not too far away. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm sure we'll find a slot to fit it in. And
the other thing as well is it has to be when you won't fall asleep, because you have to work together.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
it's not like we'll go and do a strike, or Steve's fallen asleep, I'll finish it off.
Yeah, no, I know, yeah. Like I say, I work damn hard during the week, and I tell you, the long car journeys I have.
So do I. You say it as if you're the only person who does.
Hold a minute, you're not doing the amount of mileage I'm doing. I can say that for nothing.
No, but I'm still working hard.
Yeah, I know, but it's driving does take it out of you a bit. But anyway.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, moving on. So that would definitely recommend the game, by the way. Definitely recommend the game. Really enjoyed it. I hope to do another one. Tell you what is interesting about the game as well is even though you're not playing it couch, or you're doing it over the live service, you still see split screen. So you can see what's happening with them.
It's like an episode of Prison Break or 24, isn't it? It's like the way they play with these screens and watching two instances happening at the same time. Yeah,
and it's quite nice when sometimes you just see one and it's either your character or their character. So, but yeah, great story. Really good story. So anyway, I'll leave it there because, I think it's a game for people to definitely try. Definitely try, find someone to play it with and do it because it's well worth it. The next, if you want to do, achievements as well, it's not story progression achievements, so you've got to look for the things to do.
Oh, is it like collecting things to do and stuff like that?
Yeah. Not collecting, doing specific things.
Oh, okay. So did you get them complete in your playthrough?
Oh, we've got 1,000, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we both got the.
Why 1,000. I don't think I even asked you that question, to be honest. I should have known.
Yeah,
that,
we both got the 1,000 because we missed the first one, and then we found out that we'd missed the first one. We went back and did it.
So you started again, yeah. Okay.
No, I didn't have to. Just do a chapter select.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you can. All right. Okay.
Yeah, but no, we got all of the rest straight off. So, but it's once you know where they are, it's a dead easy 1,000. It's not really that challenging. But yeah, it was great fun. And also, if one of you gets it, you both get the achievement. Apart from one achievement, which is to do with baseball, where you've got to do one of you do it and then the other one of you do it.
Is one pitching, one batting, but something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right, yeah. Okay, moving on. So my next game, one that I've been streaming an awful lot of as well, is Assassin's Creed Unity on the PC. So this was given away recently by Ubisoft for free.
That's right.
Because of the burn down of Notre Dame and the fact that, Ubisoft are contributing $500,000 or something towards it for the restoration.
Which is great, I think.
Yeah, which is great, yeah. So I thought, which is what's really annoying, I'd bought this literally days before Notre Dame burnt down. If I'd have waited a couple of days, I'd have got it for free, but there we go.
Because you already had it on the Xbox, didn't you?
I already had it on the Xbox, yeah, but for some reason I decided I wanted to play it on PC. It looks absolutely stunning as a game.
Oh, I totally agree, yeah.
And to be honest, when you think that this is the beginning of this gen, I think it looks a lot further on than the beginning of the gen. I know that this game had a lot of problems when it was first released. Ubisoft had released a game that was highly bugged for a lot of people. A lot of people complained very bitterly to the point of it actually got removed from Steam, I think.
Yeah,
remember rightly?
All these little bugs we had, especially even on the Xbox, I didn't seem to get any of them. Maybe I was just lucky.
I got one or two of them, but not to the extent that they were complaining about.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much been fixed. The only thing that I would say that hasn't been fixed in the game now, and it hasn't happened on all of the game, but for about half of it, is the only way I can describe it really is like the hairdryer blast. So if you suddenly switch on a hairdryer on full blast and you get that steam, that gust of wind, which will make your hair blow straight up and then go back, you switch it off straight away and it goes back down again. A lot of the characters seem to have that effect going on with them sometimes.
So they look like punks, a lot of them, did they?
No, it didn't look like punks, just looked like they'd had a blast of air, suddenly wafted into the face and then they'd suddenly go, like half a second sort of thing.
Okay.
As the hair settled down, not just flopped straight down, but did settle. So it was a bit of a strange phenomenon. Put the teeth in.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've not really had any issues with it at all. I got stuck in the environment ones. That
Okay.
was, yeah, but that happens, and the checkpoints are really close on the game anyway, so I just reset to the last checkpoint. But yeah, visually really great, I think, and also the crowds in Paris as well, because there's loads of people about, much more than in the previous games.
Well, especially when near the guillotine area, when they're going for that, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's a bit busy around there.
Yeah, and I love the setting for the game as well, because the game's set in the French Revolution, and you're playing Arnaud Victor Dorian, and to be honest, I actually really quite like him as a character as well.
I enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
I really did. I was just having a little look. I played it for 80 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got my penny's worth out of that one, must admit.
Yeah, definitely. But really worth playing. I mean, I think that Arnaud is up there with Ezio and Alexius as, enjoyable characters from the franchise. And if you want to get this on Xbox, you can pick it up for 49p on CD keys.
Yeah, I remember at one point, because I did get a copy for one of my boys. I think I only paid 79 pence at the time.
Yeah, it's fantastic value for that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It is stunning to look at, and maybe it's not on par with Odyssey as much, but I think it was moving forward in that difference.
Yeah, the combat mechanism is still much more old school, whereas the combat on Odyssey and Origins is different. But it's still a good game. It's still, you really enjoy it. It's a nice blend of the old and the new, because you can see the new stuff that they've brought in, but it's got that feel of the old in terms of some of the fighting. And I think this was one of the first ones that introduced the B for parkouring downwards as well, wasn't it? Yeah,
they did make that a bit easier to do. But yeah, I haven't played it for a long time, but I remember it was, I played I think I played the DLC as well, so I think I went through it all. Yeah. Thoroughly recommend it, yeah.
Absolutely. So if you can get it, it's about £8 on the PC, 50p on Xbox if you go to CD keys, and I'm not sure, I think it's still quite expensive on the PlayStation. Actually, I think it's about a tenner or 15 quid on the PlayStation.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a bit strange that, but so hey ho. Next game that I've played is Forza Street, which is a free game.
Is this mobile by any chance? Is that right?
Well, it kind of is. It plays on Windows, but it's effectively a mobile game. So you can download it for free. There's in-app purchases if you want to buy them, otherwise you can just do the grind. And it's a very, very simple game to play. You literally have to rev up using your mouse button.
Yeah.
And then get a good start. You're doing drag racing against another car, and when you hit the yellow line for braking, you have to take your finger off the accelerator, and then when you get to the other end, there's another yellow line which you've then got to hit to get the perfect acceleration as well. And if you do it too early or too late, then that affects your performance.
Was it fiddly or not? Did you get used to it?
Yeah, you got used to it quite fast. I was doing races and just hit perfect each time. It's not really that hard.
Yeah.
There's also a nitro boost as well, so that builds up as you race. And if you get on one of the longer tracks, which none of them are longer than like a minute and 15 seconds, then, because you only do one circuit, as it were, well, it's not even a circuit, it's, one length. As soon as you can get a couple, maybe 3 nitro boosts in a race, which you do need to do, because you can be going against opponents that have got much faster cars than you.
Cool.
So, but to be honest, it's very simple and it's not very entertaining. It looks okay, but why they've gone for this with the Forza name, beyond just a very simple cash generator. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it fits with the rest of the Forza franchise.
You mean it's a bit cheap and nasty?
Well, it's free and nasty, yeah, basically. It's not a nasty game, it's just not entertaining.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing with these, I mean, if it's a PC game, I mean, they've obviously got the proper thing there, haven't they? Which they brought out. Was it Apex, was it called? Remember, was it Forza Apex?
Yeah.
But, maybe this is just a quick fix to throw in there while they're producing the next game, which will get released.
It could be.
E3.
It could be.
Which ain't far away, believe it or not.
No, definitely not. We have to consider if we're going to do a special or not.
Yeah, because it's always around my birthday, if I remember rightly. So, it's what, 6-7 weeks away?
That's not long at all, is it?
No, not at all.
Okay. So my last game then is the big one that has just been released on the PlayStation, which is Days Gone. So this is the latest of the big PS4 exclusives and has been receiving lukewarm reviews, quite surprisingly. People have been saying that it's very bugged and whatever. So anyway, that's what's happening, in terms of the news. But the story, basically, it's your normal sort of like zombie apocalypse kind of situation. You're a survivor, and you've got a base with your friend who is seriously hurt right at the beginning of the game. You had to abandon your bike. You've got to go and find it. You then run into a village, and there's where they've nicked your bike, and you have to basically rebuild your bike up from there, or a bike that they give you, and do missions for the people who are there. So that's basically what's happening in the game. In terms of the reported glitches, I've not seen anything at all that even remotely comes to any of the problems that people have been complaining about this game for. The game plays fine. It's
you sound disappointed.
It's not setting the world on fire. Let's put it that way. It's not. I don't know. I like zombies, zombie games and that sort of thing, generally speaking. But it's just, I was expecting maybe a little bit more, but I am only early into the game so far, and I have to keep that in mind. In terms of the controls, the controls are absolutely fine, apart from when you're on the bike, which feel like they're a little bit oversensitive. I found myself very easily zigzagging up and down the road as I was trying to correct my, oversteer in the opposite lock, and then I got oversteer in in that lock, and then and so on. So I just, when you first start the game, you do a bit of a chase on your bike, and I was all over the shop.
As bikes go in games, was it like GTA or?
No, I would say that it was more sensitive than the bikes in GTA.
Yeah.
Very sort of like twitchy, sort of, if you push too far to the left or the right, then, you suddenly could be starting to do a very acute kind of, angle that you're actually going to.
Yeah.
So that to me is like really the main negative for the game from what I've played of it so far. Graphically, it looks fine. I believe it uses a checkerboard sort of mechanism in terms of the, giving you the 4K effect. The storyline, from where I am a couple of hours in, is really good so far. It's definitely very linear so far as well. But, you start off, it's more cutscenes than anything else. At the sort of like fall of humanity, then it goes to a little bit later, and then you're out and about with your mate. You go to investigate somewhere. Your bike gets shot, which means that you have to end up dumping it or hiding it rather, which is when your bike gets stolen and you've then got to go on a quest to rebuild your bike or whatever.
Yeah.
The game is very Last of Us-ish. I think it holds a very big, candle to that game, because when you were actually playing it reminded me so much of the game. There's the cover hiding on all of that sort of stuff, but there's also the stealth action that's in the game as well, because in order to get past the freakers, you've got to use stealth to either take them out or just sneak past them.
Is this very similar to The Last of Us, is it?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So it is quite similar to that. And that, I think what worries me is that's a game that I didn't so much get on with. Mm-hmm. Just because I got fed up with those, was it Screamers or whatever they were? Yeah,
no, there was a way to get around that, and I thoroughly enjoyed that, must admit. So
yeah,
I would like at some point to maybe get to play this latest zombie apocalypse, as they call it.
Mm. Well, I mean, like I said, it looks really good. The graphics are lovely. Although what I would say is, as considering where we are in the cycle, for this gen, it feels a little bit like it was earlier this gen than now. I think that there's been other games that have had slightly better looks, like, for example, Red Dead. What else? There's been other Spider-Man as well, I felt looked a little bit better than this. Although they have got a completely different environment to go with, because there's lots of foliage and whatever. And the environments do look, quite compelling. And it is quite amazing when you see the hordes of freakers walking about, how they move quite naturally.
Yeah.
And then if they're on their own, then they will just, circle around and be on the lookout constantly. And then there's like these baby ones, which I've forgotten what they're called, but they're really quite mean, vicious little things as well. There's the weapons, the shotgun is very satisfying when you getting attacked at close range and you cleaver things in half with it. So, but there's lots of other different weapons to try as well. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's probably disappointed a few people, but I don't think it's going to end up being that bad. I think once you start getting into the way that the game plays, etc., I think it's going to be absolutely fine. There has been patches as well that have come very quickly to address some of the graphical issues. So if you're worried about that sort of thing, I wouldn't worry too much. Like I said, I've had a very stable view of the game.
Cool.
So that's everything I've got on that really so far.
Was there much in the way of patches when you booted the game up?
Yeah, but to be honest, I just stuck the disc in and let the PlayStation do its thing. Yeah. And came back, and to be honest, the game was ready very quickly. The PlayStation always does it much quicker than the Xbox.
Yeah. Oh, it always has done, yeah. So, yeah, worth a look. If you're not too sure, though, I would maybe wait for the price to fall, because I have a feeling that this one might come down quite quickly. Yeah. Could do, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because it's had negative press at the beginning, when it was such an anticipated release. I think a lot of people will probably lost a bit of faith, but I think that faith will start to get rekindled the more people that play it.
Absolutely.
So, any other games from you?
Oh, no, I can think of. I mentioned about the other thing I did mention was obviously I mentioned about the Xbox Enhanced games. I think my memory's all good. No.
Didn't you say you had something else that you hadn't wrote down that you wanted to say?
No, it was all right. It was what I wrote. I wrote it down as we were chatting, so it was just about Splinter Cell. That was all right.
Right. Okay. Well, in that case, then we'll move on to movies, TV, and streaming.
In quest of a better life.
All right, so movies, TV, and streaming. So, Steve, what news have you got for us?
So, news. We've got a couple, actually. There's one just in, which we could do first of all.
Is that the...
Yeah, it is, yeah. And it's just been reported on the BBC News that Avengers Endgame has beaten the box office record with 1.2 billion in its record-breaking weekend. Actually, that is in just 5 days, which I can't comprehend that amount of money sitting on a plate somewhere.
Well, to be honest...
Not surprised?
No, that's kind of like a bit like saying the sun will come up in the sky tomorrow.
Yeah, well, actually, if we go and that was in dollars, by the way, so $1.2 billion, which works out at
£1 billion.
£929 million.
Yeah.
So, but that's close.
Close.
But yeah, so, wow.
And not only that, they haven't finished all of the showings today.
No, and ironically, what was quite funny, I saw in the news now, because they were saying and reporting that there's nothing to wait for after the end of the film.
But there is, isn't there?
No, there's not. There's no clip to continue on, and they were trying to let people know because they wanted to get them, shuffle them in and out so they can clean them up and get going with the next lot in there.
Right.
You know, but yeah, no, there's no meat on the bone after the end of that one, I'm afraid. Well, I'll mention about it in a minute. Anyway, so the other news this week was that Bond 25 was announced in a press conference in Jamaica. And they did this as a live stream with a few of the actors and actresses having a sort of a heartwarming chat. So I thought they were going to tell us the title of the movie, but unfortunately no. But what they did say was that Bond's been left in active service and he's enjoying his tranquil life in Jamaica. His pace is short-lived when his old friend Felix Leiter from the CIA turns up asking for help. And the mission is to rescue a kidnapped scientist, turns out to be as far more treacherous than expected, leading Bond onto the trail of a mysterious villain armed with a dangerous new technology. So, sounds good to me. But after what I read with CBS, they sort of reported that they reckon that obviously the new villain that's been announced, which is Rami Malek,
mm-hmm.
They were saying that it could be Dr. No. And...
Or if you're in Newcastle, Dr. Nout.
Dr. Nout, yes. Now, ironically, when you look at a picture of Rami Malek and you look at a picture of Dr. No, there is some sort of resemblance there, I feel.
As in that the male have got dark hair.
Yeah, but he's got the very, very sort of skinny face and... Yeah,
but forgetting the fact that Dr. No was Oriental.
Yeah. No, but you look at Rami Malek and...
No, but.
No, shut up. No, I'm calling this. Also, it's in Jamaica, where this was held as well, ironically. And we had that first scene with the Bond girl coming out of the water, so on and so forth. All this. I don't know, we'll wait and see. I mean, there's other talk, obviously, because... The working title was Shatterhand, which is the alias of Blofeld. So some people are saying it may be to do like a remake of You Only Live Twice.
Mm.
But I don't think there's any volcanoes in Jamaica, to be honest.
Well, they could always put one there, couldn't they?
Oh, of course they could, yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. UK release date is going to be April the 3rd, 2020, with a worldwide release on April the 8th. So, hey, it's a year away.
Maybe.
Well, I know production should have started on the 5th of April,
mm-hmm.
but we'll take rumours with a pinch of salt, and I'm sure by April the 5th, if we do hear anything, they've started production, and we'll see a screenshot with a slate in their hands, maybe, to say it started, but we'll see. I think, and also, just Rami Malek, I think, is going to pull a blinder on this. Off the back of an Oscar and his Queen performance, he's doing all right for himself.
He's doing very well for himself.
So,
but there are reportedly a lot of problems.
Well, there was something on the Sun News which I just turned away from it.
Empire magazine and others are also reporting it.
Yeah, something to do with Craig taking the reins a bit on this one.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, every Bond film's had its problems over the years. And, it's anything different from normal. So, yeah, we'll look forward to seeing what happens.
Mm.
Cannot wait. And then I'm sure once we've got the title, we'll find out who's going to be doing the theme as well, because that's always a bit of a thing as well. And normally it's somebody that's sort of in the at the moment with who would sort of, it's sort of an artist that's doing well normally sort of takes the lead on that.
Mm.
So, yeah, all good.
Cool.
Something to look forward to.
Indeed. All right, so any other news?
No, that's all I can find at the minute.
Okay, so in that case, cinema releases then. So we've had I might as well say the ones from last week as well. As we know, we had on the 25th of April, Avengers Endgame. And then on the 26th, we had 8th Grade and Bel Canto.
Mm-hmm.
On the 3rd of May, we had The Curse of La Llorona, I should say. Long Shot.
Sounds like a beer, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Hotel Mumbai. Extremely Wicked, Shocking, Evil and Vile. Tolkien, Vox Lux, A Dog's Journey, The Hummingbird Project, and Women at War.
Mm. I thought the Tolkien was called J.R. Tolkien, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's just Tolkien.
Did they take the initials away then?
It's about J.R.R. Tolkien.
It is, yeah, but I saw a trailer and I thought it said, yeah, it came up as J.R. Tolkien, but yeah, it might be just them whoever did it.
Yeah.
But, so, anything else there you're looking forward to, other than the obvious?
No, I don't think so. Bit lukewarm about that at the moment. It's for the next one for me. I think it's probably going to be the new Spider-Man movie when that gets released, which is June.
Oh, right time for my birthday.
Okay, so do you want to do Blu-ray and DVD releases?
Okay, so a little bit of nostalgia here. So we've got batteries not included, Blu-ray and DVD. We have Justice League Fatal 5 Blu-ray Steelbook and DVD, which I presume that's probably going to be a cartoon of some kind.
Yeah, be animated, yeah.
Animated. Something here, oh dear, Sequest DSV. God, that's going back a bit.
It certainly is. Roy Schneider.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, other than that, I'm just looking through the list you've put on there. There's not a great deal out there.
No, it's as with every month. There's always a load of things. But not everything's very good. No. I mean, the biggest release I'll mention in a minute, which was, I think I got, was it a couple of days ago? So, personally, for a 40th anniversary. Which would be Alien. It certainly was. Yeah. But it's not much there, to be honest. But plenty to go and see, though. Yeah, okay. So, charts for films this week is Red Joan, Kalank, Captain Marvel, Dumbo, and at number 1 we have Shazam. Boom boom. And we won't be having that next week. So Shazam, get it while you got it, because I got a funny feeling it's going to be more than 1 week that we're going to see a certain movie at number 1, but we'll see. Absolutely, definitely. So do you want to do Blu-ray charts? Okay, so from 4 down to 5 we've got Venom. From 3 down to 4 we've got Bohemian Rhapsody. From 2 down to 3, we got Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. From 1 down to 2 is Aquaman. And in at 1 is Mary Poppins Returns. And I bet next week it'll be Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse. Possibly, yeah. At number 1. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I've got 4 out of those 5 on Blu-ray. Yeah. Well, actually, at the moment, the way it's going, I didn't pick up Bohemian Rhapsody, but I think that won't be far long before Sky has that out. I think that'll probably be out during the summer on Sky. Because what day of this week? It was The Equalizer 2, which I've not got a chance to watch yet because I've been a bit busy. Which I'll probably get to see at some point. But actually, I'm not too fussed about Venom, but I need to see Aquaman, Fantastic Beasts, Bohemian Rhapsody. So I'm sure I'll get to see them at some point. Yeah. I have to admit, Aquaman in 4K looks good. Yeah. Would you say that's your best DC film to see so far out of everything that's coming out? No, I think that Wonder Woman's been the best DC. Rightly so. I was going to say that, yeah. Even though I haven't seen Aquaman, I think she sort of nips it a bit there. Yeah, evidently, I've forgotten what he's called, who plays Aquaman. He's shaved off his beard. What does he look like that? That's Yeah, because he's had that beard on since Stargate, hasn't he? Stargate Atlantis. Yeah. But evidently shaved it off. So he doesn't look dissimilar, but he certainly you have to double take. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because he's still a big guy, isn't he? Oh hell yeah! I don't know if he's very tall as well. I haven't seen him up against anyone else, obviously, at the minute, but I imagine he's a bit of a beefy fellow, isn't he? Yeah, I would imagine so. I think he is supposed to be tall, but who knows? Yeah. Anyway, Steve, what have you been watching?
So TV-wise, it's just doing the norm with some of the TV shows, especially with Big Bang at the moment. That's coming to a close soon, and watching that has been quite amusing. In the DC universe, I finally got to watch the crossover called Elseworlds, which is Flash, Supergirl, and the Arrow. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Very, very amusing, I must admit. I don't think we should really talk about it too detailed because there might be people who haven't seen it. Even though that came out at Christmas, didn't it? If I remember rightly.
I have to admit, see, you've said that, and I found it so underwhelming. I'd forgotten that was actually the crossover for this season.
Yeah. Because they did tease another crossover at the end of that.
Yeah, and I thought that I'd missed that. Because that's what I thought that we were getting as a crossover. I thought that, but it did come into it eventually, didn't it?
Because obviously, the way Arrow's going at the minute on its TV run, we got one more season next year. So it'd be interesting how they're going to deal with that, because I think we can mention Gotham in this, what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was very satisfying to see. And I think CW are going to be bringing another show to take over from Arrow as well. And I think it's to do with a bat of some kind.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And what I've enjoyed more, I think, as more than anything at the minute, is that I'm up to date with Flash, and that is becoming very interesting at the minute. A lot of time travel involved in that show, which is normally a no-no as far as he's concerned. But, yeah, really been enjoying that. You
say it's a no-no as far as he's concerned, and yet every season he manages to do time travel.
He does, yeah. But his daughter's, in the mix with this one at the moment.
Well, yeah, because she's from the future, for a start.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So, yeah, it was very amusing seeing how that crossover started, even though I'd already seen the trailer for it, so I knew what was coming.
Yeah.
But, yeah, very, 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 well, the missus, I think she found it hard to take that conception of those two, if you know what I mean. And, but, yeah, great, I loved it.
Yeah, it was cleverly done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. So what the only annoying part was we had to put up with Christmas adverts. I said, let's just play them out and listen. She said, no, fast forward. Just trying to wind her up over that one. That's funny. Some movies. So I've had a bit of a Marvel fix over the last few days.
Yeah, somewhat, with 5 movies.
Yes. So, leading up to booking the tickets for this morning, and I thought, well, I need to catch up. Even though I probably, with some of the films, you may not really need to. Some of the, so Captain Marvel and Black Panther, probably not. But do you know what? I thought I was going to be disappointed with Black Panther, but actually I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was better than I expected.
You know that figure of speech, told you so.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It was.
How many times did I say that to you?
I know, and I just thought, yeah, well, whatever, But no,
but you always say that, and I'm always right.
But what is good though is that I actually get to enjoy. If I'm a little bit disheartened with what I'm going to be seeing, and actually it's better than I expected. I've got more out of it.
Yeah.
But it was thoroughly enjoyable. I still can't get over the amount of tech they have in that on there where they all hang out
in Wakanda.
Yes, it's more like Star Trek tech to me. It's really very well advanced, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I knew I was going to enjoy that.
Yeah, it's more of a romp sort of movie rather than how can I put this? I am surmising, because I haven't seen Endgame, but I am surmising that there is a lot more to Ant-Man and the Wasp in terms of what was discussed, done, whatever, than I currently am aware of in Endgame.
My lips are sealed on that. I wish I could talk, but I can't. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously, we can talk about the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
No, we can't talk about the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp because that would ruin it.
Well, people have seen it, haven't they? But yeah, I mean, because I actually picked Ant-Man and the Wasp because that was on Sky this week.
Yeah.
So that was handy. and we will chat about Captain Marvel in a minute. And then I'll tell you what, we can probably, I'll talk about Avengers at the end, Endgame at the end of it all. So I did sit through Infinity again.
Yeah.
Not, even though I can remember a lot of it, I just thought it would be nice to watch it on the Saturday before the Sunday, just to put it in perspective, because what you could have done, you could have booked in the cinema to watch them both together.
Yes.
But I think my bladder couldn't take that.
Well, that'd be 6 hours of continuous film watching.
Yeah, and I think that, what do you get when you have a long flight?
Thrombosis.
Exactly, yeah. No, sorry, I don't fancy that.
Mind you could have gone on to the super luxurious seats, or go to that place where you could order a meal.
Well, what I will say is, before we'll talk about Captain Marvel in a minute, and I'll save my chat about what I did before Endgame when we're in a minute. But
you mean not drink?
Oh, actually, I did. I hashtag made it to the end.
Hashtag by the use of a catheter.
Oh God, yeah. But it was great to watch Infinity again. That was on Sky still, so I was able to sit and watch that. And then I was able to go and see Captain Marvel, which you've seen as well.
Yes.
What was your take on that? Because this is an introduction. Did you feel there was enough there for the meat and the bone for the film?
Right, don't get me wrong when I say Captain Marvel's an enjoyable movie.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and
yeah,
even a certain member of the cast, even before we saw him, and I recognised his voice, the guy from Rogue One, and from
director Krennic.
Yes, and obviously he was in Ready Player One as well, wasn't he? So
he was, yeah.
He's got that accent just really stuck out. I just recognised his voice.
But, the Australian accent?
Yeah, it did. It was a really fun movie, and it was a film just to sit and relax, let it take its course. And even though I don't think we should spoil it at this point.
Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn, you mean?
Yes, that's him. That's the guy.
Mm.
It was an enjoyable romp, and she can kick ass. That's all I'm going to say.
What did you... I felt that she was really stiff.
In what way?
As in, quite wooden in her acting.
I'm not too sure. I didn't look back to see what her resume is and what she's done before.
Well, she's an Academy Award winner, isn't she?
Hmm.
But I did feel that, considering if this is a character that she's always wanted to play, allegedly,
yeah,
she just didn't seem to have a lot of joy in the character.
Well, sometimes isn't that the case with introductions to a character? You know, it's sort of when the second film comes out that they sort of shine a bit more. Yeah,
quite possibly.
It's that film's got a direction it's got to take and a pace, and it won't move from that because we're trying to tell us all about her, I suppose, and how that's going to work. But yeah, no. If anything, if we're gonna, she's one of the powerful ones, isn't she? Really,
she's the most powerful Avenger, supposed to be.
Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really got something from it.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the movie. Yeah, and while I thought that she was quite wooden, I think that she looked, really good in the role. I think that my main problem with this film was nothing to do with her at all. I think my main problem was I feel that the Marvel universe has moved on so much in the last 11 years that having an origin story now kind of felt out of place.
Well, do you think this was thrown in quickly?
I think it was thrown in quickly because they probably thought, we want to introduce Captain Marvel now, for the events of Infinity War. Oh, no one's going to know who she is. We better do something about it.
Yeah, well, if this film was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago would have been fine. But not now.
There's things I'd love to talk about with it, about what happened in it, but I don't think we should. It's
well,
difficult.
No, I don't think that we should.
It's still in the cinema anyway, so it's still out there for people to go and see.
Yeah. And to be honest, there are some quite nice things in there as well. Some like nods to the future.
And the past.
And the past, but just thinking about the Protector Initiative.
Yeah. That's too much. I'm surprised you said that. But anyway.
Why is that too much?
No.
Why is that too much? Because you still have to make the link.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
Yeah. You have to use your eyes. You have to watch the story.
Yeah.
But, it's little things like that. I think,
I mean, it's not the greatest of movies. If you were to rank all these 22, is it now?
Yeah, 22.
If you were to rank them in a list, it wouldn't be at the top.
To be honest, I don't think it'd be in the top 10.
Mm.
But that's not to say it's not a good movie. It's just kind of out of place in considering the other stories now. I'd like to have had Captain Marvel 1, maybe Captain Marvel 2 by now, so that we know who she is better.
Yeah.
And so that she knows who she is as well. I know that the idea is that she's lost her memory, but I mean Brie Larson as the actress, so that she's more settled into the role, because, she's done one movie of her character on her own and then thrown straight into the Avengers, which back in the day of Avengers Assemble was fine because it was all new. But now we're more used to that sort of thing, and it's a bit unfair throwing her into the mix. And I don't know how she appears in Endgame, and I don't want to know how she appears in Endgame.
And I'm not going to tell you how she appears in Endgame.
And I appreciate that. But do you know what I mean? Just that's I just think it's a bit unfair to her as an actress, not as a character.
Yeah. But I would still recommend, if you can get a chance to see it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's one of those films where if you don't get a chance, you can catch up with it, and you'll be able to put the links still together that you need to put in there that you do with when you get introductions to different characters.
Absolutely.
It's the same with Black Panther. In my case, I saw Black Panther not in order, but it actually didn't matter. I still appreciated it, even though I'd seen Avengers Infinity.
Yeah.
And then was witnessing what I did in that one. It still worked out fine, because obviously the beginning of Black Panther, a part of that is from like a Marvel film 2 or 3 back even.
Yeah.
So where we forgot the first introduction to Wakanda and all that. So yeah, but it's it is what it is.
You see, to me, I think with Black Panther, why it worked a bit better, and why it worked with Spider-Man a bit better when how they were introduced, was that they started they were thrown right in the mix of Civil War.
Yeah.
And then they had their origin story movies, which weren't really origin stories. So we never actually really got to see how Peter Parker got bit by a radioactive spider, which we know.
Yeah. We'd seen it twice before anyway, so we didn't need it.
Well, and also had all the comics and stuff like that as well. We all knew that he ended up with these powers. What I'm meaning is, their inverted commas origin story was more of a progression story. It was more like the second film for them, so they felt in place. Whereas this was solely like going back 11 years to Iron Man 1 was Captain Marvel. In terms of how it felt, in terms of pacing and stuff like that. I mean, it was great. The blockbuster bit and all of that. Seeing Agent Coulson.
Yeah, but it's well worth it, I must admit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So this morning, yeah.
Go on then.
So what I did was, in the Odeon, my local Odeon, they have got one of the screen 1, that has just got recliner chairs in it, and they're doubles as well. So it's like they're like chairs for planes, basically.
Like business class sort of things.
Yeah, because they got a nice tray on the side there for your drinks, if you fancy that. And you got a button there for the flip bit, so you can raise your legs up and just put your feet up. Really comfortable. Now, the reason I went for these tickets, because back in the day, if we've seen a long movie, you hate getting that numb bum scenario. And in this case, I didn't get that at all. It was so comfortable. It was like, I said to the missus, you might as well bring your slippers with you. Do you know what I mean? Put your feet up. And it was great because the way they see in the cinema, you've got no distractions of any heads. You can see the screen fully, and I thought that was brilliant. Because what we did this morning, I literally had a small bite to eat for breakfast because we had the 9:30 showing in the morning.
Yeah.
So just a small bit of bite to breakfast. Took a coffee in with me with a bottle of water, and I didn't even drink the water. I had my coffee and that was it. The missus did go. She couldn't hold. She did have to pop out. But from where she did it, I think it wasn't too bad.
Were there a lot of people that were dipping in and out?
To be honest, I think there must have been about 5 or 6 people that did it.
Right.
But I was determined not to. I didn't want to miss one celluloid piece of film that I was watching. Yeah,
that would be the same.
Because I've not been on this sort of roller coaster ride ever in a movie. I've not witnessed the emotion that I've been put through physically, and the smile on my face for 3 hours didn't go. The grin was there the whole time. And as much as I'd love to talk about it, and I know I can't, it has to be seen to be believed. It really does. And it's great that you're going to see it twice, because obviously for the reasons we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Because I think it was full, even though when I booked it, there was only one set of seats that had gone. But there was a few kids in there. There was a couple that were talking, which wasn't too much of a distraction. I think the only little distraction I had was the guy next to me was rattling some sweet bag, and I felt like clouting him one. But other than that, I'm just going to say, wow, what a film. I can't say any more than that. As much as I say, we will have to do a spoiler cast on this at some point, and then people can digest that. But Jesus Christ, what a film. I was exhausted by the time I come out. And the missus was starting to say something about the film. I said, shh, can you be quiet? Because it's not fair on other people when you're walking out of the cinema.
No.
I mean, we were out of the cinema, but we was in the other part of the shopping centre, which is very small.
Yeah.
But I thought, so she said, no, just quiet. We're talking in the car. I said, it's not fair because you don't want anyone to walk past and get a breather of what you've heard. You know, I think she understood what I meant by it, but you know, you would hate that, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because when we walked out, it was then really busy because I think we came out about 1 o'clock, maybe a bit later. And on the way out, we were all given these posters, which you've seen the one I have, the snapshot of the one I had, which I've kept nice and straight, and I might even try and frame it. But yeah, do you know what? It's funny going back before this film. We did see quite a few trailers, and I got a bit emotional in one of them. And we saw the movie in 3D.
Yeah.
Now, because the 2D didn't have all the full effects for the screening, the 3D version, we got the 7.1 surround sound, the 4K screen, everything else, all the bells and whistles. So I'm sure I'll watch it in 2D at some point. That'll even be when the Blu-ray comes out, probably in the summer or more nearer November, maybe, before Christmas. But they showed a trailer for Star Wars.
Oh, the Rise of Skywalker.
In 3D, yeah.
Right.
And as soon as that music came on, I was welling up. I was a mess. I just couldn't believe it. It really got to me. I thought, I can't wait now. It just, I don't know, maybe a bit emotional in the whole day of what was going on, but no, just that trailer, it just really got to me.
Yeah.
There was a couple of other trailers, actually. I mean, Mrs. actually wouldn't mind going to see the Lion King. So I wouldn't mind that, actually. I don't mind. That'd be pretty.
Isn't it just a frame-for-frame reenactment of the cartoon, but with real life?
I don't know. We saw a few bits that looked familiar, should we say. But, you know, it's all cute animals, isn't it? And, you know, it is what it is. There was a trailer for Fast and Furious, which some people have poo-pooed this, but I think it looks quite good. So that was pretty good. And what else did we see there? I'm trying to think what else there was. There was something else. I can't remember now, but never mind. But they were the standout ones, to be honest. But I just had a fantastic day. It's a good weekend. Just can't wait. When you going Tuesday?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Is that in the evening?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, I couldn't cope with that. Especially that, you know, if you had a good day at work and that, and you got the day off for that, or you're going to work?
No, I'm going to work and then I'm going to it.
Oh, okay. I recommend seeing it in the morning. I think that's a good, for your body physically to take it. But what do I know? Hey. But yeah, I can't praise this movie enough.
I'm looking forward to seeing it, definitely.
Yeah. Interesting to see what you think about it. Other than that then, so I did watch Alien in 4K.
How was that?
Very impressed with the print, considering this is a 1979 movie, and we always think that they can't sort of fix that, if you know what I mean, with older films.
Yeah.
Thoroughly, it's a fantastic print, looks gorgeous, and I think if you're an Alien fan, it's worth having. The only downside, if you're going to call that, is the second disc is actually, I've already got that in the anthology Blu-ray set.
Mm-hmm.
But that's by the by, to be honest. That's neither here nor there for me. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. Awesome. How about you? Did you go and what else have you seen this week?
I've seen a few. Obviously seen Captain Marvel. But I've been having a bit of a time with Blu-rays recently.
Yes, I saw a picture of two of a few films you picked up.
Yeah. So I picked up, actually, off a market stall in town, who's regularly there, a copy of Baywatch.
Now, I saw the extended, if they call it, edition of that on Sky.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest, because it poked fun at a lot of things.
It does. The Rock and Efron, whatever you pronounce his name. Zac Efron, that's it. Yeah, it was absolutely great. I tell you what was got me. This version that I got actually came with a digital code.
Oh, that's handy.
It definitely is. So I added that to my list. But yeah, so it's based on the TV series starring David Hasselhoff, who also appears in it as a guest star.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah.
What I like about this is it's typical The Rock. Dwayne Johnson is in. It's just full of good humour as a show, as a film.
Because it's not taking itself seriously. That's how you take this film.
Yeah, exactly. It's disengage your brain and just go along with it for the ride.
Yeah.
I love the fact that also Pamela Anderson's on there as well at one point, isn't she? And there's a couple of bits where there's women running as in the TV series. And on the TV series, they were always doing it in slow motion. And then they'd be referencing, is she running in slow motion? And I know that breaks the third wall a little bit, but it was quite good.
Yeah.
But basic story is dangerous crime wave hits the beach and the legendary Mick Buchanan leads his elite squad of lifeguards on a mission to prove that you don't have to wear a badge to save the bay. That's the storyline anyway.
Yeah.
But I just found it thoroughly entertaining. Had a great laugh with it. A real nice chill out movie that just wasn't too deep.
Well, you don't take it seriously and just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
Because they're taking the mick out of each other and themselves.
Absolutely.
And that's how it works, really, because it's a good comedy for that. Don't think of it as a serious film and you think you've got The Rock being this big I am, because it's not that sort of movie.
To be honest, I think The Rock, on just about every movie he's on, takes a mick out of himself.
Well, actually saying that in the trailer for the latest Fast and Furious, was it called Bob and Shaw or something? I can't remember what it's called now. I think it was.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because you got him and Jason Statham together in this one, haven't you? So,
yeah.
Those egos battling against each other, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
But yeah, no, I did watch that on Sky some time ago when it came out on its premiere. Very good.
Yeah, great fun. My next one is Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse. So this is the animated Marvel outing for Spider-Man. And it's not your normal one. So it's while trying to stop the Kingpin from destroying New York and maybe the Earth when he opens up a portal. When Kingpin tries to open up a portal to other universes, Spider-Man dies and Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man of his reality, crossing paths with 5 other Spider-Mans from other dimensions, including a much older and more tired Peter B. Parker, Gwen Stacy as Spider-Woman, Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Ham, which looks more like he's off a cartoon. What do you call him? It was always on with Bugs Bunny, who's the hunter.
Oh, yeah. I know
that sort of thing. And then Penny Parker, who's from Spider-Man of the Future, and basically they have to stop the threat from all of the realities colliding because of this thing that the Kingpin's done. Mm-hmm. So it's a great original sort of story. Excellent animation, and for the movie, there's lots of different styles of art as well. So, for example, Spider-Ham is like very sort of Saturday afternoon, 5-minute cartoon kind of drawing, whereas Penny Parker is much more sort of manga kind of look. So that's all really good. There's loads of references in there, and also there is even an animated Stan Lee cameo.
Oh, really?
Really, that was brilliant seeing that, because I wasn't expecting that at all, and when I saw it I thought brilliant. It's done really well as well. It's won the best animated feature at the 76th Golden Globe Awards, won the same one for the 24th Critics' Choice Awards, best animated feature in the 91st Academy Awards, along with many others. It's also the first non-Disney Pixar film to win an Oscar for best animated feature since Rango back in 2011. As well as the 6th non-Disney Pixar film to win this award. And if you like Spider-Man, it's an absolute must-see.
Yeah, everyone's been praising it, must admit.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I was a bit unsure when I was first going into it, but it really didn't take long to, make me think, actually, this is really good. This is, a really entertaining movie. And you very quickly really forget that it's even, animated. You're just going along for, for the ride of it, really.
Yeah, yeah.
So well worth it. Definitely well worth it. If you get an opportunity, I would watch it.
I'm sure that will be on Sky at some point, so we'll get to see it.
I'm sure it will be. Probably be on very shortly, actually. Because that's normally the way it works, isn't it? 6 months later or something like that.
Or even quicker sometimes.
Yeah, it depends upon how well they've done at the box office, but I think this one's done quite well. I don't think it's, like Endgame sort of well, but I think it's done okay.
Yeah. There is, I won't mention it now, but there is another, the Sky doing like a simultaneously release at the cinema. Yeah. There's a second one coming shortly.
Right.
Which I think it's Zac Efron plays the character.
Oh, right, okay.
But, when that comes out, we'll have a chat about that one. I look forward to that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Zac Efron in Baywatch, he was ripped.
Right, excuse the noise. I'm going to do this live, all right? I've got to shut the curtains.
Yeah, he was definitely ripped in that movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Really good. Really, really good film. Definitely worth watching. So the next, but also what I would say is don't bother if, I don't even know if it's available in 4K, but if it is, I wouldn't bother because it looks superb in 2K.
It's a cartoon now, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't think animated is much different in 4K. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it is if you're upscaling, because if you watch the end of Venom, there is an excerpt from Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, and I could definitely see the better picture quality on Venom, which is you've got in 4K, to Into the Spiderverse, but it wasn't anywhere near enough.
Yeah,
it's you could define some shapes very, very slightly better where they've had a differing effect. That's the only way that only thing that really enhanced. But that looks great as a movie. Definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
So my last pair of movies, and I say pair because you have to watch them together, It's Kill Bill 1 and 2.
Yeah, I do. I think out of the two, I love Kill Bill 1 better than Kill Bill 2, but they're two good films.
They're very different sort of styles in terms of story. You know, I know that they're still the same story arc, but when you think that she actually kills 4 people and Bill on the second movie, but really she only goes after one of the people, or 2 of the people on the list on the first one, which is a bit, unusual. The films are so imbalanced, but they have that massive fight with the Crazy 88.
Yes, that's right.
And that is savage, is that? Yeah. And by the way, I'm not sure how old this movie is now, but it is quite old. So if you haven't seen it already, sorry.
I tell you what, it's one of the most bloodthirstiest movies you're going to see, isn't it, in that scene?
Yeah, exactly. It must be one of the, highest fatality movies as well. Crazy 88, so 88 of them dead. I love the bit at the end where she stood on a banister and says, "Any of you still have lives, you can, you still have them, but leave your limbs, they belong to me." Do you remember that bit?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Do you remember the Star Trek references?
Yeah, well, Nikki was on about this on Twitter, so do you want to remind me?
There's a couple of them. First off, it starts off Kill Bill Volume 1 with an old Klingon proverb.
Is it the one served cold or something like that?
Yeah, revenge is a dish that's best served cold.
Yeah.
And then the other one is in one of the conversations, it's part of the dialogue, she makes reference to one of the characters. She's that one there who looks like an extra on Star Trek. So, obviously, Quentin Tarantino must have been a Star Trek fan for quite some time.
Well, you poo-pooed about this movie.
I still can't imagine him directing a Star Trek movie, I'm sorry.
Who knows?
No, I can't imagine him doing it. But I just thought it just amused me when I picked up on those.
Yeah. Cool.
But it's a great story of the bride and her quest for vengeance against Bill, played by David Carradine.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And Daryl Hannah as well. She's really vicious in it. When you think that the last time the film that I'd seen her before in was Roxanne. She plays a very different character. Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
Such a long time ago as well.
Oh God, yeah. Roxanne is absolutely, decades ago.
Yeah, and obviously, what was the other film she did with Tom Hanks? Splash.
Splash, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all a long time ago now. But then again, Kill Bill isn't it, as well?
Well, it's old in some people's eyes, but not in mine. I call old 40 years ago, not that old.
Yeah, well, so do I. But in terms of, in reality, the older films now, they're certainly not what millenniums will call a new movie. Or think of as anyway. They think of it as an old classic.
Yeah.
But these are my 2 favourite Quentin Tarantino movies. The other one that I like's Inglourious of his.
You haven't mentioned my favourite one then.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic.
I just find I know that it's the point, but I just find it to be really disjointed.
Well, that's the point.
No, I know I said that. I just said that, but it's too disjointed.
Well, if you've got any intelligence behind you, you know you know where it sits and how it's played out.
I completely understand where it's sat and it plays out. I just don't like the flow of it at all. It just doesn't work for me as a movie.
I mean, they did the same thing in Highlander. It's not much different to that.
No, Highlander's a different kettle of fish.
Well, it's a different movie together, but just in the same, But, yeah.
There's a difference between flashbacks and just completely ignoring causality.
Well, wait till we get Star Wars with your flashbacks in that next, probably. So.
Yeah, I have no problem with flashbacks. It's where it's flashbacks forward, sideways, and diagonals that starts getting a bit stupid, which is what was happening in Pulp Fiction. But there are some classic moments in Pulp Fiction as well.
Oh God, yeah. Even Steve Buscemi playing playing the waiter that's being Buddy Holly.
Yeah, but I like the bit where John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson are in the car, and then his gun goes off.
Yeah, in that film there are some real classic moments. I could probably pick a handful.
Yeah.
Even with John Travolta chatting about his time in Amsterdam to Samuel Jackson, and obviously you've got the what scenario with the burger at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie. I love it. And
you've also got the gimp bits.
Yeah. It's funny because the guy that supplies the heroin.
Yeah.
You forget who he was, who he nearly played. Because remember, he nearly did the Back to the Future role of Marty McFly, but it didn't work out, did it?
No.
Because you don't recognise him if you look at it. All of a sudden, he's got long hair and a bit of a beardy type hippie in it. But it's a great film. Love it. Yeah. Good music as well in the film.
Just going back to Kill Bill. Thinking of music. Do you know which Marvel Avengers cast member appeared on Kill Bill Volume 2?
Not off the top of my head without... Obviously, you've watched them recently, so it probably springs to mind, but not off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, there's a little cameo by Samuel L. Jackson in there as well.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, he's the organist in the church.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. That was just something I was watching it, and you only see him with shades on and a hat, and it's more his voice that you can hear because it's all in black and white and, quite dark.
Yeah.
But when you watch it, I was like, is that Samuel L. Jackson? I thought, oh yeah, it is, when I looked on IMDb. So that was quite interesting.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Anyway, shall we move on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in that case, we'll move on to our listener questions.
John, what's happening to us?
So, listener questions time, and as always, we have Mark kicking us off with, what do you use to help you judge whether to buy a game or not?
I probably rely... It's funny because I think we can chat occasionally about a game, and we'll have a little chat about it, saying, whether it's worth getting or not.
Yeah.
I don't really rely too much these days on IGN.
Yeah.
I think they've been a bit of a naughty boy and sitting in the corner for some of the things they've been up to with their reviews. And also I think I sometimes have to take it on the chin because even YouTubers are primed these days about reviews as well. So it's a little bit difficult sometimes to see where you're going to come from. I mean, you can actually, if you just type in Google to a game and see an overall Metacritic score on a game to give you a bit of an idea. But I think with a little bit of video footage that you may have watched and the trailers and stuff, I think that normally makes your mind up. But then again, you can still be upset without knowing it that you could be screwed over. It's easily done. And there's a few games that don't always turn out to be as great as they are. Or there's games that have been out there that people have bought that you don't hear from them for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at Anthem, for example. Have you been back to that?
Yeah.
It's sort of gone under the radar a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, which I think is a shame. But I think other things came along afterwards which just took us away from it.
Yeah. You see, you got the Division 2 as well, but you don't hear a lot. I mean, there's a few people I know that have been playing that quite regularly. But again, it's like another game comes out, Days Gone or whatever, and, they move on to the next one, but because they're coming out too quick in succession.
Yeah, I must admit, I forgot to mention I was playing a Division 2 and joined by our friend Mark Tudor as well.
Yeah.
That was it was actually better experience playing it in twos than it was singly.
Yeah. But yeah, it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just do my own research sort of thing. I don't really pay much attention to YouTubers and stuff like that, or IGN. Never have really paid much attention to IGN, to be honest.
No.
I think what I'll do is, things like the Facebook group or things that people that we, who listen to the show tweet about.
Well, there's a couple of different places to hear of stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, there's other groups. There's a We Are Gamers group that we go into as well, and various different other ones. And I listen to what people will say on games. So, for example, I was really fancying the Sekiro game.
Right.
And then someone said, oh, it's like Dark Souls, and that just put me right off.
Yeah, that's lucky, isn't it? Someone said that to you because you'd be gutted otherwise.
Well, it wasn't even to me. It was just somebody had said, I really love the Dark Souls sort of vibe. I thought, as the saying goes, when's you're out? Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
I thought, I'm not interested in it at all. As it was like a switch went off in my head.
Mm.
But before that, I was like, I really want to play that game. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So, yeah, it's, I think nowadays there's so many different games, and then when they do get released, so many of them are bugged.
Yeah. And
that's because they're rushing through the development of them and not doing proper testing.
Mm.
But games are getting bigger and more complex as well.
Yeah, and that delays them a little bit more as well. But then I think they're still pressured by the companies to bring them out.
Yeah.
And we've seen that a few times in the last few years as well. So,
yeah.
It's a shame, but it's difficult. You're penciling that game coming out and you want to see it earn a good crust. And sometimes reviews can be pretty harsh to shut it down before it's even started.
Hmm.
But, ways.
And I think nowadays as well, where you've got the internet and people can put you off a game so easily. Especially, but it's like, if I'd have listened to the critics saying about Days Gone, I would have ignored it, but I'm actually quite enjoying it.
Mm.
And likewise, Assassin's Creed Unity, and that's great fun to play now that it's been fixed.
Well, it's funny because, I played that the time it came out. I was really looking forward to it. Obviously, I didn't have a problem, but was hearing all these, but then again, sometimes we've all been on that wrong end of the stick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's other games we can mention that have had that problem, but it's happening more and more.
Mm.
And they've just got to be aware of not bringing these games out so quickly due to the fact that they want to get the right quarter so they get the money in for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So do you want to do his next question?
Yeah, so Mark says here, how long will it be before your gaming is entirely digital? I've got one word to that.
Never.
Never. Yeah.
You might not have any choice after the next gen.
But as long as I can still pick up a disc, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be told I can't play this game because you can't play it when you haven't got a copy in your hand for whatever reason. They want to say that they want to take it off the live.
Yeah, I mean, I think that his question is probably coming hot off the heels of the fact that the Xbox One S all digital version has been announced.
Yes, we didn't actually mention this before. It's out there anyway.
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing in one way, really, to be honest, because if you're heavily into something like Game Pass and don't have an Xbox, that might be for you.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, but nowadays, realistically, houses are getting smaller. It's more and more people are getting packed in. The building companies are maximising the spaces. You look at living room sizes on houses now, they're a lot smaller than they used to be.
Yeah.
And people don't have the storage space that they used to. So, people like us who like our, display of these are all of my games and these are all of my DVDs and whatever.
Mm.
And people don't have the room now. So in that sort of respect, an all digital version's a good idea. Also, the fact that the only thing that a disc allows you to really do is to trade it in.
Yeah.
Which, how often do you do that?
Not as frequent as we used to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very. To me, I have traded in a few games in the last week.
Yeah.
But it's very few and far between.
Mm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I can understand the sense of it, but I just think it's a stupid move that they've made, especially considering they're pricing it at £200.
Mm. Which,
$250, isn't it?
It's maybe the pricing's slightly wrong, but then what do we know? Their marketing department look at this.
They've said it's going to always be $50 below the version with the disc in.
Mm.
But to my mind, what they need to be doing with it is making it $100 cheaper, because you're actually losing some of the functionality. The Xbox One S will play ultra high def Blu-rays.
Yeah.
So you should, granted it'll still play 4K Netflix, but that's not the point, is it?
No. It's, there may be a market. I mean, you think a lot of people that have bought Xboxes over the time, that the market will be small for this product.
Yeah.
But maybe there's not. Maybe there are people that haven't upgraded and thought, well, I'm not going to go, I might go all digital.
Yeah, and I think it does go really hand in hand with Game Pass. But then haven't they only stuck in either a half or a 1 terabyte hard drive in it? Which to me is, again, ludicrous. I know you can stick in a USB, but, I'd want, for that amount of money, 4 terabyte hard drive in if it's all digital.
Yeah, that's it.
But, hey ho. Okay, so we move on to Jason Toon, and he says, if you could revive a dormant or dead game franchise, which would you pick? I'm a big fan of stealth games, so I'd love to see another Tenchu or Splinter Cell.
I would totally agree with them, because after playing some Conviction recently, it was scratching an itch I haven't done for a while.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I would like, if I get the time, I'd like to actually go run through that again.
Right.
And also because it looks gorgeous. It really does look really well, Tenchu, I haven't played that for donkeys. I can't remember the last time I picked that up. I
don't think I've ever played it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's one that's just sort of not interested me.
Yeah. So, anything else, any franchises that you've dormant you'd like to see?
Oh, God.
What? I would always like, I'm going to say that, I always would like to see a Bioshock game come out. I've always said that. That's just one of my...
Yeah, I'd like to see Dead Space come back as well.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go back years and years and years ago, back to the Amiga days.
Okay.
And I would like to see, not so much a particular game from there, but as in the whole library, but especially one of the games. But that is Cinemaware. Okay. And I would love to see a Defender of the Crown.
Okay, yeah, cool.
But, modernised. And they had SDI, Strategic Space Defence Initiative, or whatever it was called. They had It Came from the Desert, which was classic, very much in the spirit of B movies. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd love to see some Cinemaware games. Be produced in that sort, updated version. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. You don't fancy any big other type of RPGs at the moment? Do you think we're saturated with them at the moment? You don't think there's any room for any more of them, at the moment?
I can't think of any that's off the top of my head. Maybe going back to the Commodore 64 days, a modern take on The Last Ninja. Yeah. Maybe do it Diablo style, because that was a isometric view. And, if you could play like The Last Ninja, but in the style of Diablo, that'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
And it's still an existing franchise, but there was talk many years ago when StarCraft 2 first came out that they were looking at doing a StarCraft FPS.
Oh, okay.
That would be quite cool.
Well, we've got, obviously, there's a new Bethesda game in the works, obviously, from that point of view.
Yeah.
And...
Releasing it on general release for beta testing.
yeah, whatever. And obviously we had the Mass Effect scenario, there's all sorts, isn't there, really?
Yeah. I want to still see Mass Effect remastered. I still think we're going to get that.
Did they ever do an Xbox One X enhancement for it or not? I don't think they did they?
No, I think that we'll get the remastered version. I still think that'll be on the cards.
The same way that they did with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. And I think that, seeing as that everything that they're doing at the moment's bombing, they're going to have to go back and, look at the past for the future.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. You could do, Alan?
Yeah, so Alan's Cochrane, he says, I've just watched Avengers Endgame, which was fantastic. Of course it was, Alan. Do you think the cinema should bring back intermission for long movies, which are over a certain time. He said he sat for 3.5 hours dying for the toilet. But, I passed that test very well. I know where you're coming from with this, because I was chatting to Mrs. on the way home, and I was telling her about a couple of instances where, for example, when the film Towering Inferno came out, now we're going back a few years now, that actually had an intermission in between that one. And originally The Godfather, if you watch the right cut, you actually get a black screen with intermission in big white letters during the middle of the movie.
Yeah, and you do with 2001 as well.
Yeah. So I can see where you're coming from in that, because a while ago you wouldn't have had movies that were 3.5 hours or 3 hours long, because the companies didn't want that in there because of the time you're sat in the cinema.
Mm.
Although then, what about, and now we can't really talk about this yet, because I would say my question to you would be, and we would discuss this at a later date, was should this Endgame be in part 1, part 2, and be 2 movies? But without knowing the content, no,
I know, because it's already been split.
I know, but because it is as long as it is, would it? I mean, this is just hypothetically. I'm only just putting it out there.
Yeah,
I'm okay with what I've sat and watched. So
I would be perfectly okay sitting watching there, because what I'll do is just not drink for ages beforehand, and then start drinking about halfway through the movie, so it doesn't pass through my system quite quick enough. Well,
no, as I said, we had a Costa coffee I took upstairs with me, and a small bottle of water in case I just got thirsty.
But the reality is, this sort of movie is one you've got to pace yourself for. It's not one that you can go to, Empire Cinema and buy their, 2-litre mega drink and then sit there and drink it all.
There was people doing that, and then these big bottles of load of popcorn. I mean, I had a very small breakfast.
Yeah.
Which was basically a muffin with Marmite peanut butter. That's what I had. And that was it. And a coffee this morning. But yeah, no, I did it right. I'm happy with how I played it out.
Yeah.
So watch your space on how you get on with it.
I'll let you know, but I will keep holding on to the point of physical pain before I get up, because I just hate leaving the cinema when you're in there. The only time you should leave the cinema is when the film's finished.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember, have I ever been to the loo? I think the only other time I remember doing it, I think it was in the middle of Independence Day.
Yeah.
But I think, and the only other time would have been for a movie's, because obviously when I took the kids to the cinema, there's always one that needs to go. You're going to get, if I'm taking my 5 out, 1 in 5 chance of taking one to the loo. Mm. Odds on that was, but yeah.
Have you ever been in a cinema where people have cheered at the end of the film?
Well, funny you should mention this, because someone else was saying about they had everyone was clapping in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And ours was the complete reverse. You could hear a pin drop.
Right.
But that's all I'm going to say.
So I was just thinking, you just sparked me off on a memory of years ago when I went to see Independence Day at the cinema. At the end of it, people cheered. I'd never seen that in a film before. And especially for that film, because it was all right, but it wasn't that good. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit random.
I think we compare us to the guys across the pond.
Yeah.
That were a little bit of a different breed.
No, that was in this country.
I know, but what I mean is in general.
Oh, yeah.
They are a bit more vocal.
Yes, they are.
And we're more reserved.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that's all I would say. But yeah, interesting.
Okay.
Lisa?
Yeah, so I've watched every Marvel film I could think of in the best order I could. Can't wait for the Endgame. What franchise have you enjoyed watching from scratch again? I'm thinking of watching X-Men from start too.
So, what marathons have I done in the time? So, I actually went to the cinema. Now, obviously, depending on when I went, because there was how many there was out there. So, I did do the Rocky marathon.
Yeah.
In the cinema. Also, at the time when I went to see another marathon, I did a Star Trek marathon. And that was with 5 movies. So Star Trek 1 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. That was pretty cool. I do like the idea where she's coming from regarding the X-Men.
Yeah,
because that just reminds me, because I did see the latest trailer for that this morning.
Yeah, and that one's coming, Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, and that looked pretty cool, I must admit. Even though it's rehashing some stuff that we've already seen in a way, but yeah.
Well, it's X-Men 3 redone, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Can you think of any of the others, like any marathons you've done?
Well, not at the cinema, but at home. I occasionally will do a marathon. So if you consider a marathon to be watching one scene, the whole lot of that collection of movies all together, then I've just done Kill Bill.
That's
not really a marathon, though. That's more like a Milky Way.
Shut up. Go on, carry on.
But I've also recently got the RoboCop trilogy, which I'm going to go through, because I don't think I think I might have seen RoboCop 3 once, and I think that was more than enough. But I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah, it probably is more than once is enough, probably.
Yeah. Let's have a look at what other ones. I've done Lord of the Rings and Hobbit marathons as well. That's quite awesome when you're doing the extended edition back to back of all 6 movies.
Yeah.
That takes a little while to get through. It's a dedicated weekend job, is that?
That will complete 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's going to be one or the other.
Yeah, very long 24 hours as well.
Actually, I just thought of another one that's worth doing. I mean, especially after I've just watched Alien.
Yeah.
Even just getting the anthology box out, forgetting the later movies that came out of recent times.
Yeah.
There's a few there to cane.
Yeah. I mean, I've done Star Wars marathons.
Well,
episode 1 to 7.
Yeah.
And Rogue One in there as well. Done that recently. I've done the X-Men marathon. That's really good, but you do notice the discrepancies in the chronology from that, especially if you throw Wolverine into the mix.
You've got to put Logan in there as well, haven't you?
Yeah, add Logan. Yeah, so there are inconsistencies in that universe. And the other ones that I've done. No,
you turning around now, looking at your.
I am. I'm turning around and I'm trying to figure out if there's any other ones. I've done the Batman ones as well recently.
Yeah. Well,
and the Matrix. So all of them I've done. I've had loads of movie marathons recently.
Oh, cool. One question left, is that, Nicky?
It is. You gonna go?
Oh yeah, sorry. It's all right. I'm just holding to go to the loo now. Yeah, no, I'm only joking.
Okay. Well, it's been nearly as long as Endgame now. So.
It has, yeah. If you can only play one Xbox and one PS4 game this year, what would it be? Mine's Shenmue 3 and Gears 5.
Did it have to be exclusive?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
He's gone for one. I think. Well, I think Shenmue 3 on PS4 as well, is it?
Yeah, it is. It would be because Gears 5's the Xbox one.
Yeah.
Have you got any? Well, I know Destiny and Destiny for you.
One on Xbox, one on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I am looking forward to The Last of Us Part 2.
Right.
Which would be PlayStation
5.
Yeah, more than likely. And it'd be play on the Pro as well, so I'm not sure I'll be picking up the 5 straight away. But anyway, an Xbox franchise, even.
Forza Horizon.
I'm trying to think. Well, is there anything coming? Oh, I might just do a get out here and say Gears 5 at the minute, because I can't think of anything else, unless it's something that we don't know about come E3.
Yeah, I think that we're a bit up to date on. Well, there'll be a new Halo, won't there, coming out?
Yeah, actually, that'd be well worth a watch. Play. Yeah.
But in terms of games that I've actually got, well, I'm quite enjoying the Division 2 on Xbox, so I would say that.
Yeah.
Okay. And on the PlayStation, that's a good question. Right now, I would say probably Days Gone to get through that. But
do you know what?
I would still like to actually go back and play like an Assassin's Creed game on there. Maybe Origins.
Really?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
No, it's fine. Yeah,
I'm really enjoying Assassin's Creed at the moment.
No, absolutely. They're a great format, and they have done really well. Considering we were saturated for years. and they had we call it a small break, but
a small break where they managed to actually release at least 3 games in that time.
I think. Do you know what I think? Out of all the different franchises that we've been bombarded with, I still think they've come out on top out of all of them. To be honest,
yeah, I think that they should get rid of the Animus stuff, though. I know that it's part of the main
story.
You go in,
but it's how you get into it, isn't it?
Yeah, but they could just do it so that it's all in the past. And like the latest idea is it's going to be Vikings, but let's have a Second World War one. Like the Saboteur, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Because that was basically Assassin's Creed in Paris in the Second World War. But it was a good game.
I still would like to see something sort of samurai-ish.
Yes.
Something that'd be pretty cool. Again, that reminds me of Tenchu, to be honest, as well, saying that.
Yeah. I think they could do, Japanese and Chinese sort of story arcs as well.
Yeah.
And I think things like climbing the Great Wall of China would be very...
well, it would be very high, to be honest.
But then again, not many buildings were very high back then. And also, what about a Moscow one? Something to do there, I'm
not sure where we stand with the political side of that, and what it's all split up and divided now into different sections, isn't it?
Yeah, but
you
could in history, you're going to a period of time, aren't you?
Yeah. You could go to the Cold War, and you could be climbing the Kremlin, couldn't you?
Yeah. Well, you go back further than that. Go back to when the Soviet Union was first formed. You could have that as like the Templars' grand plan sort of thing.
Yeah. That's true.
So there's loads of things that they could actually do. Or what about one just modern day?
Yeah. As in, where would you set it though?
Where would it set a modern day Assassin's Creed?
Would you like it in London?
It could be London, but London's been done.
Well, it was done Victorian though, wasn't it? So
yeah, but
what about New York?
Too Spider-Man-ish.
Yeah,
I was thinking Washington DC.
Yeah, I don't know where you want. I mean, you want somewhere with enough buildings to climb.
Yeah, well, it is a city, so I think there might be enough buildings.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a hamlet.
Yeah, but I mean, how about Seattle actually? Because that'd be quite good. Because you got that tower, haven't you, with the restaurant at the top?
Yeah, then I would literally, because I'd be playing it in a wee small hours, be literally sleepless in Seattle.
Oh God, I should.
What about San Francisco?
Yeah,
Golden Gate Bridge.
We'll be recreating, not Octopussy, sorry. What movie was it now? All of a sudden, I can't remember.
For Your Eyes Only.
No, it wasn't.
San Francisco?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about with Christopher Walken. View to a Kill.
View to a Kill, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they had that little last bit at the top of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, with Duran Duran.
That's it.
Yeah. Great movie. Oh, absolutely.
You know.
So there's a few different sort of things that places that you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be. Oh, what about Australia? Go down under.
If you go to Sydney, couldn't you?
Yeah, or Melbourne.
Gonna climb the Opera House there.
Yeah, I think that'd be quite tricky to climb.
You'd be slipping on something there, wouldn't you?
Oh, definitely.
There's always Ayers Rock there if you could go find that.
Yeah, in the bush. So yeah, there's loads of places that you could actually go.
Yeah,
and loads of time periods as well.
To be honest, I think history is a grand thing to have to use in a game.
Yeah,
history is so vast. It's
I mean, they could do one more on the Crusades. I know that the original Assassin's Creed had like the Templars who were Crusaders, but it didn't really focus on the Crusades per se, did it?
No, because the Crusaders were away, weren't they, at the time? Crusading.
Yeah. Well, they were crusaded in the same places where it was, but it wasn't really the focus.
No.
The focus was on the Creed and the Apple. More about the Brotherhood rather than about the Templars, from what I remember the story being.
Yeah.
So, here's the thing. What's the connection with Assassin's Creed and The Good Place?
Go on, enlighten me.
The woman who plays Zelena Shellstrop was the Templar who defected to the Assassins, who was, helped Desmond escape from...
oh, really? Did she voiced that, did she?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never went back to that, you know.
And they've done a 4K patch on that now as well.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been back to the TV show either, funny enough.
Oh, right. You need to go back to that and watch the rest of it.
Yeah, but the thing was, I've started watching Star Trek Discovery, haven't I? Now,
oh, so hallelujah and praise the Lord.
Yeah, I'm only up to episode 5. I think the next 1 or 2 is going to be a bit more of an enlightenment into what's going on.
Oh, you're in for a right roller coaster now. It's definitely... I thought that the last season was exceptional, but they've actually managed to top it. And I'm just very interested to see what they've got in store for the future.
Well, as I said before, I still miss Star Trek in the movies. I still think that's Paramount are missing something there, you know.
There's an issue, though, because CBS and Paramount, it's part of the legal contracts.
Yeah.
And CBS have to make it 25% different to the original. But there's also, time frames when Paramount are not allowed to release movies.
Well, they think if anything, stick to the Kelvin timeline then, anyway. And I think, because we had a poor Beyond, that they should, it'd be nice if they could actually get one going, really.
I think if you ever do get a Star Trek 4, I think that the Kelvin timeline will be reset back to the Prime timeline.
Who knows? It's very difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. But, the ending of Discovery, it's of season 2, fantastic. You've just got you really need to binge watch that this week so we can talk about it.
It's just quite a lot of episodes, isn't there?
14.
Okay, so I've got
9 more to go.
About 9 more to go.
Yeah, it's 2 nights.
Yeah, no, I'd
stop wasting your time on Destiny and do something less boring instead.
Hang on a minute, I've been in the Marvel universe for the last couple of days. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, now time to get into the Trek universe.
Actually saying that, it might have been 3 days, actually. I'm trying to remember when I see Black Panther, that might have been a week ago, wasn't it? So, yeah, it's been over the last week, but yeah. Anyway, are we done?
I think we're done. So, do you want to give your details, Steve?
Yeah, because I need to go to the toilet. So...
More information than we needed to know.
Oh, no, that's all right. Anyway, Twitter, @Steve007. PSN ID is the real Steve007. Xbox is Steve007. Forget emails for Nick, so I'm having some troubles with that. Just tweet me and I'll answer straight off the back of that. I'm really good at that. And... yeah, that's about it really for the minute. Okay, so all of my details are HERJ UK on basically everything. And everything and anything. So PSN, Xbox Live, Steam, Uplay, Origin, whatever, Twitter, all of that. And also, if you type in HERJ UK on YouTube, you can find me, although that's not the official channel name. Also thinking about YouTube as well. We do have a YouTube channel for the show, but we need more subscribers on there because we want to get the name for the show, which you have to have a certain amount, and we're not hitting that yet. So if you wouldn't mind going and subscribing there, that would really help us out there. You can also follow the show by going onto our Facebook group, which is entitled Pop Culture Gamers. We've got, if you've got any inquiries, you can email podcast@popculturegamers.co.uk. Our website is popculturegamers.podbean.com. You can also listen to the show on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, or your Echo using our Echo or Alexa skill. Just ask it to download the Pop Culture Gamers skill, and then just ask it to play the show, and it will play the latest show for you. So there's lots and lots of things there. Also, if you want to support the show, you can do so on Patreon, or if you would prefer to show support in other ways, then you can share links with your friends and in other groups, write a review for us on iTunes or whatever there. And also just thinking, I am also streaming quite a bit now, so have a look at twitch.tv/HERJUK.
And that's it for another show. So that's 45 in the bag. Steve will be hosting next time.
46.
46, because I'm odd and Steve's even.
That's right, that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes. So with that, it's a good night from me.
And a good night from him.
Good night.
Good night.
You are about to witness history in the making.